Welcome to this week's episodes of UAV Basics on Flying in High Cotton. Unmanned aerial vehicles, or drones as most know them, are an evolving part of many industries, including the agriculture and forestry industry. Many of these new pieces of technology are often very intricately made and require a lot of time and effort to learn about. There are often many regulations that accompany the use of these pieces of equipment. However, they can be very beneficial to those in the industry. They have quite a few uses, including crop scouting, cattle herd monitoring, vineyard management, and water assessment. Oftentimes, UAV usage is much more practical than on-the-ground monitoring and surveying, and can also yield quicker results. They can also provide much quicker images than traditional GPS satellites. As mentioned earlier, these pieces of equipment can be quite complex. So we here at Flying in High Cotton just wanted to go over the very basics of unmanned aerial vehicles. The dictionary definition of drone is a remote-controlled, pilotless aircraft or missile. We certainly aren't talking about missiles here, but the definition of drone does not quite represent what we're talking about either. The definition of an unmanned aerial vehicle is an aircraft who is piloted by remote control or onboard computers. Unmanned aerial vehicles are a part of a broader category known as unmanned aircraft systems. We will talk about how all of these are separated and regulated in our Federal Aviation Administration segment. Unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned aerial systems as a whole are regulated by the Federal Aviation Administration. The Federal Aviation Administration regulates how UAVs are used, where they're flown, and the purpose for which they are flown. To get a general idea of UAV usage and the rules that follow, you can visit faa.gov/UAS. Let's go over using the Federal Aviation Administration website as a useful tool. First, we're going to visit faa.gov/UAS. This brings us to the home page for the Unmanned Aerial Vehicle section of the FAA website. Over here on the left, you see all the helpful links about UAVs. Let's start with the Getting Started tab. Under this tab, you can see a comparison chart between flying for recreation, flying for business, and just general flying. These two distinct variations of UAV usage must be considered before flying. Next, we're going to head over to Beyond the Basics. This tab gives you a good overview of the types of legal documents, certifications, and possibly even exemptions you will need to have before flying a UAV of your own. Lastly, one very helpful section of the FAA website is under the Frequently Asked Questions tab. Under this tab, you can see the answers to general questions, such as those that involve flying for work or recreation, and other things such as registering your aircraft or what to do in the event of an emergency or accident. It is very important that you review all of these questions and all of these tabs before trying to fly of your own. If nothing else, they provide a ton of information to consider before using a drone of your own. To give us a more in-depth look at some of the uses for UAVs in the agriculture industry, I had the opportunity to sit down with Benjamin Winslow, a field technician for the Tidewater Agricultural Research Station in Roper, North Carolina. Here's Mr. Winslow to give us a look at some of the things he uses drones for on a day-to-day basis.
Drone usage in the agricultural industry. A good comment. Yes, it is increasing. How is it increasing? Well, one thing we're doing is looking at nutrient management. How is the plant taking up the fertilizer that we are providing to it, and is it working? This is some tests we've done on wheat. As you can see, there's big differences. Some of it is due to drainage, some of it is due to fertilizer. And as you can see, you can pick out what's doing real good, what's doing not good. And all this is done within a 15-minute flight. So at 15 minutes, you can see this is a replicated study, and this has no fertilizer. This has all the fertilizer in the world you can put on it. So that's a big difference there. So now we're able to tell, is this plant taking up nutrients appropriately? This is done with a NIR camera, near infrared, and but also you can use regular drones too in studies for agriculture. Here's some more maps we have, and these are real-time 3D maps. And you see we've got a skip in the planter here. You can see where it's got real good fertilizer. Here's where it's poor. That's a regular yellow leaf. So what would a yellow leaf mean? A lot of times it's lack of nutrient, could be too much water. Actually, this was water standing on the edge of a field. This had good drainage, as you can see. So not only can you use a drone for look at nutrient uptake, you can look at it also in real time on your planter skips. We've also used them on crop scouting for replant. Pest, because you can take that drone and just set it right down on top of the plant and look at it. Right now my scouting time is about, I can look at 30 to 50 acres in less than 15 minutes. So that's pretty good. And it takes the time, these guys with big acreages, you can cut your time down, therefore your reaction to correct the problem, whether it be with a pesticide or another fertilizer, is increased. You don't have to wait so long for test results.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Before we go, I want to recap a few of the things we have discussed today. First and foremost, technology is ever-changing and always redeveloping. It will never be the same or be implemented in the same way. UAVs are a new part of this technology in the agriculture and forestry industry and can be a useful tool for farmers and business people alike. There are lots of things that people may be unaware of about these pieces of technology, such as how they are regulated and what they can and cannot be used for. This not knowing can lead to some differing opinions among the public. Therefore, we at Flying in High Cotton hope you will continue to follow us, but don't stop there. As always, we encourage you to do some personal digging of your own. And remember, you never know what you'll see from